All right. I think it's recording, right?
Yes, it is recording.
All right. So I guess I'll start with number one then. I was gonna say some funny intro, but nothing came to mind. All right. So number one, let me just pull it up to see what it was. So write a program that reads 15 decimals, positive and negative from a file, and compute the average of the positive and the average of the negative and display it. So that doesn't seem too bad. So I guess I'll show the file first to see. Yeah. So this is the file, just a bunch of random decimals, positive and negative. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 15. I didn't count. So first thing to start it off, we have to have the file star IFP to open the file, to open this file, right? And then we're gonna have what's it called? We're gonna have the sums, the counter for like how many positive numbers there were, how many negative numbers there were, and then the current value is going to give like the current value of how many positive and negative numbers there were. And you're going to have int I because you're going to have to use like a for loop for it, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, right here, lines 13 to 15, this is purely to open the file so it can read the characters from it. So yeah, so if parentheses IFP equals F open number dot text to read. If it doesn't detect it, it's gonna have an error. The file can't be opened with exit one since it was terminated unsuccessfully. And then once we get that working right, then you're gonna have to have the for loop to count all the integers, all the decimals, and then get the average and stuff. So it's gonna first scan the float value, so it's just a decimal. So it's gonna do fscanf, the input file, %f because it's decimal, and then current value is just gonna be like what's the current number it's reading. So if the current number is greater than 0, it's obviously gonna be a positive, and if it's less than 0, it's gonna be a negative. So if it was a positive, the sum underscore positive part, that's just to add all the positive numbers together. So like 1 plus 2 plus equals 3. So you get that. And then the reason we have a current value here, right, is because you have uh, uh, the current value is like the number is reading at that moment, and it's gonna be adding it to the sum of all the positive numbers. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that it starts at 0 in order for it to count correctly. And then the number of positive numbers is also going to start at 0. And this is the counter for like how many positive numbers there actually were. So does that make sense? I know I sort of like went back and forth a little.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so in short, this part right here is counting the number of positive numbers. And this right here is going to give you the sum of all the positive numbers. And then this is the same thing right here, except for the negative. This counts all the negative numbers that were in the file, and this is the sum of all the negatives. So after that, you're going to exit the for loop and just do a simple if else. If the number was positive, if number positive was greater than 0, then you're just going to do the average. So printf, the average of the positive number is %f or \n, which is pretty much the sum of the numbers, positive numbers over the number of positives. Else, you can just say there were no positive numbers. And then right here, if the number of negative numbers were greater than 0, then you would just do printf. The average was the sum of the negatives over the amount of negative numbers that there were. And if there wasn't any negative numbers in your file, then you would just say printf there wasn't any. So you want me to explain it again?
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh yeah, I forgot to also mention for the for loop, the reason why I is less than 15 is because there's the 15 numbers that you were taking. Yeah, there have to be 15 decimals here. That's why. And you were starting at 0. All right, send